Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Monday evening quarterback with Mitchell Paige. Mitchell, how are you, my friend?
I'm awesome. Just moved down to Charleston, living the life, watching the Hoosiers from afar, but very in tune to what's going on. I'm excited to talk some ball.
Hey, man, coming to you from Southern Stone Restaurant, of course, here in Bloomington at the corner of Patterson and Rogers, where, of course, you can catch the IU football coaches shows. The football coaches show is each Wednesday at 7:05 with Don Fisher and Tom Allen. The basketball show will be starting soon with Coach Woody, and it'll be here on Mondays. So we got there's all kinds of stuff going on, man. But right now it's football season, Mitchell, and my man Mitchell, former wide receiver for the Hoosiers. Things did not. I mean, the Iowa game. As I look back, we had a lot of high expectations based on last year, and we didn't know what Iowa was going to be like. And they're just damn good. Indiana has been really slow to get off. They looked good last week, but of course that's against Western Kentucky on the offensive side. Defensively, they gave up 365 yards, which was a little scary against a CUSA team, but they get back into real life this week against Penn State, man. And Mitchell, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. But if Michael Penix can continue what we saw last week, he looked confident finally. He looked relaxed.
Yeah, that was as good as Michael's looked. I'm generally a pretty harsh critic of the way teams play offense and how efficient they are, and Indiana's been about as bad as they've been since I was there, maybe our first couple years.
What did you leave, by the way? Was it 16 or 17?
Winter of 16, Foster Farms Bowl was my last year. But just really, really efficient and effective. Moved the ball like crazy. Had some stall outs, but I really liked the way that Nick Sheridan was calling plays. It was getting a lot of guys open.
Nick has caught a lot of grief. And I'm like, well, how can you judge an offensive coordinator off of plays that aren't being made? And I sometimes I've questioned Nick's play calling, but I'm like going, man, if they're not making the plays, you can't question the play calling.
Yeah, exactly. There have been a lot of drops that would not usually happen. The quarterback play has been extremely subpar. Like I said, I thought Penix was better. Freifogel still had some plays that normally he would make, as he's an All-American wide receiver, plays that you have to make if you're going to be a top NFL draft pick like I believe he should be. But then he also makes plays on third down that kind of ice the game. And I know, it was 2 points. But I'm also going to go back a little bit. You talk about Western Kentucky, 350 yards, 31 points. As a guy that has been a part of an offense that maybe doesn't have the talent that the guys on defense have. We are throwing me out there, so we definitely weren't as talented as a team like Michigan. But when you get a quarterback I was extremely impressed with their quarterback. You get a guy like him in rhythm and receivers that line up on the ball quick. You get defense that's kind of scrambling because you have to. You're not going to get play calls in. They're going to get vanilla coverage, and it's going to be easy for an offense to just, once that ball starts rolling, it's kind of a waterfall, and there's really nothing you can do as a defense. I don't care who it is. You're just backs against the wall kind of the whole time. And I thought Indiana, when they came out in the fourth quarter, I can't remember, maybe like the third to last drive, and started putting 6 guys in the box and just playing man coverage, say our guys are better than your guys. That told me a lot about the way they're calling defense and how much confidence they have in their guys. And I think still we're a top at least 10, maybe 5 defense in the country, how fast we are and how effective we are at corner.
How about the beard, man? I just noticed Mitchell's got the beard going. Man, I'm like, wow, it looks great, brother. You got the whole new look. It's been a minute since I've seen you.
I know it. Well, if I shave, I look like I'm 12. So I got to look in these had some job interviews, man. I got to look like I can do the business.
Well, we always know you can do the business, man. Hello, everybody, and welcome into Monday Quarterback with Mitchell Paige. Brought to you by the great folks at Southern Stone Restaurant, located, of course, at Patterson and Rogers, right here in Bloomington. Make sure you stop in. The food is incredible, and that is the flat-out truth. You got to come here. Mitchell's not in town, but dude, you got to come here. It's a newer spot. It is unbelievable. Mike Ross owns it. It is amazing. Cody Camp, the GM, has done a great job. They have the coaches shows here. The IU football coaches show is each Wednesday at 7:05. The basketball coaches show will be here on Mondays when they begin with Coach Woody this year. And then, of course, they'll be moving to one of his other restaurants next year. But you can catch all that here. But most importantly, you can catch Mitchell Paige on Mondays.
Yep.
Man, I wish you were here with me, but last weekend it could have been, even though it was against Western Kentucky, who is a mid-level team. They have a very, very difficult offense to defend, one that stretches the defense out, that keeps them on the field, and Indiana got past all that. But at the same time, Indiana has not looked strong against strong teams yet. We have not seen them put forth the effort against a strong team that will be coming this week, as a matter of fact, when they visit Happy Valley. Michael Penix looked comfortable for the first time. I mean, he looked a little bit like the Michael Penix of old last week. Again, that's against Western Kentucky, but it doesn't matter, because when you're having to make those decisions, he at least looked confident and comfortable.
Yeah, his feet were finally settled down. He had some happy feet, like crazy against Iowa, got a little better against Idaho, but Idaho didn't you want to talk about strength in a team. They didn't really bring it. But against Cincinnati, I thought, and I don't want to single out any one player, but at least at 20 positions, I thought IU took it to the Bearcats a little bit. And we're the better team. Yeah, they should have smoked them.
Should have beat them by 17.
When it was 14-0, and there's no gambling in South Carolina, but if I was in Indiana, I would have bet the spread might have been 30. I would have taken the Hoosiers. I thought that was going to be a stomping.
I had a friend that said, make sure you bet Indiana in the first half. And I swear to God, he said that. And I'm like, I wanted to take myself out back and kick my own ass, because he was exactly right.
Yeah.
He was exactly right. But I'm a little surprised that Michael Penix has taken it, that it took him 4 weeks to feel that comfort, but he missed his spring ball. I've never gone through 3 season-ending injuries, so I cannot put myself in that position. But he looked like the Michael Penix of old last week.
Yeah, he absolutely. He was comfortable in the pocket and accurate, but you also got to remember his career completion percentage is only like 55%. So he's a guy that's going to take shots down the field. I think what my biggest issue is obviously the interceptions, kind of panicking and throwing it to nobody. But on his deep shots, when he would take a shot to Freifogel or DJ Matthews, even against Cincinnati, he had some completions, but they were underthrown or thrown out of bounds. It just didn't really give our guys a chance, where the old Michael Penix put it in places where, hey, our guy's going to be better than yours and he's going to go make a play. We didn't really have any chances for that. And as a receiver, for a guy like Ty Freifogel that's used to getting a lot of targets and balls kind of inside his frame, when you're not getting a chance to get your feet moving and get into the game, it makes it hard to internally get yourself motivated. I remember my best games were always when I had a first catch on the first 1 or 2 drives. And when it's taken you 2 or 3 games to really get into any kind of rhythm, it takes a second, especially when the ball is coming not right in your numbers. So I don't want to make any excuses, but it was good to see, especially in the second half, the guys on the Indiana offense finally starting to gel, and Penix, especially on the third downs, getting outside leverage, putting the ball right where it needed to be, and Freifogel making competitive plays.
And when you don't get that rhythm going, it actually works in the opposite. It starts to weigh on you. Like, what's going on here? Why am I not getting the ball? Why am I not making the catches? Then you start thinking, and that creates the momentum the wrong way. You start self-doubting and questioning yourself, and maybe that's something that Michael Penix and Ty Fryfogle had gone through in the first couple of weeks, because neither of them looked comfortable. He didn't look comfortable throwing the ball, and Ty didn't look comfortable catching the ball. It's some misses that are right in his hands that we just did not expect. And but hopefully they've gotten through that. I mean, as someone like you were a walk-on and turned yourself into a premier player, you've got to work 3 times as hard as the other guy. And Ty expected himself to be one of the top receivers in the country this year. And to start off with that slow start, you had the loss at Iowa, but he didn't look good after that even. But he looked really good against Western Kentucky on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a big advantage that I had versus Ty is nobody ever expected me to be the top receivers in the country. So I was just I appreciate it. I know.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I didn't know you then. I'm kidding. I'm lying. But if I had known you, I would have, because that's how you are, man. That's what you are. It's like that or nothing.
Yeah, that would have made one of us, because I definitely didn't expect that. I was just kind of happy to be out there. But when you have pressure and you're feeling a fan base kind of come alive, and it's really because of you and Michael Penix, Michael McFadden, Tywan Mullen, it's like you're starting to become kind of a household name, at least with Indiana fans. There's a little extra pressure, and when things get a little slow and you made the decision to come back, if you would have went last year, maybe a 2 or 3 second or third round pick, getting ready to play in an NFL season, now you start to second guess a little bit, and it just makes you a step slow. And when you're playing even a Western Kentucky, and especially this week, I don't know how much of Penn State you've watched. Those boys fly around. When those bullets start flying, a half a step means all the world, and they're going to have to be on the same page and extremely focused for Indiana to have a chance.
That could be the name of your segment. On the same page.
Or just half a step slow.
Well, you know, Paige, man. I always like the name Turn the Page. You can use a little Bob Seger. Turn the page.
Listen, man. I ain't never listened to a Bob Seger song in my life.
What?
Hey.
I
was born in 1993.
Wait a minute, but you haven't listened to Turn the Page?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Turn the Page, man. It's one of the greatest songs ever. Mitchell Page, I was going to name a segment after that. Turn the Page.
Well,
because of that song.
Send it. I'll look it up we'll pull it up after this. And
oh my God in heaven! Oh my God in heaven! I had much better hopes for you, man.
Yeah.
Much better hopes.
Maybe you're opening my eyes to something that could change my life. My life might get changed tonight.
John, do you have the Nick Sheridan clip ready? Because Mitchell made reference to that.
Yeah, we got everything ready. You just call for whatever, and we'll play it.
Nick Sheridan, baby. Let's hear what Nick Sheridan had to say.
I think there were some opportunities in the game Saturday where we did try to push the ball down the field, and the ball just ended up not getting there. You know, the defense played on top of the cover of the routes. You know, Peyton Hendershot had a nice intermediate route. You know, we have deep options on those types of plays. So sometimes the coverages, you know, they're playing off of you. You know, they're not allowing you to run behind them. When there are opportunities to do that, we got to hit on them. There's no doubt. We had explosive plays in the game, but I think what you're referring to is the 40, 50, 60-yarder, those types of things where the ball is thrown vertically down the field and we've come up with it. You know, I think we missed Cam Buckley on a vertical on our sideline. You know, that's going to happen. You got to keep throwing them. It's been a point of emphasis. I've seen progress in practice, and certainly those change, you know, the outcomes of games when you're able to connect on those. So we'll continue to chop at it, continue to work at it, and try to get better. It's certainly an area that we put emphasis on and recognize we need to improve at.
Mitchell, that was he was answering the question that I asked him about while there was a lot of progress that seemed to be made on Saturday at Western Kentucky, Michael looked a lot better. He looked like he was going through his progressions. He had better protection, but they still do not have a deep threat. His deep passes, they're just throwing it and hoping that it happens. They're 5, 7, 8, 10 yards off. They're not even close. Indiana has not come close in these 4 games of hitting a deep threat. It's not even been, and I'm like, wow, for someone who relies on the passing game as much as they do and as precise as, they're not close. And that is something in the Big Ten season. You cannot have a chance of beating a Penn State. Plus, the Big Ten East, Penn State 4-0, Michigan State 4-0, Michigan 4-0, Ohio State 3-1.
It's the best
Maryland,
in the country by far.
Maryland 4-0.
Yeah, they're going to finish the top 20 team. They're fantastic.
So
Absolutely.
you've got to have a downfield game, and Indiana was known for that. And last year at Ohio State, that second half, it was danger because Ohio State was struggling to keep up. Man, this year there's no danger.
Yeah,
there's just no danger.
I think I agree mostly, but you also something that Nick Sheridan said that I'm like I absolutely agree. When you play a team like Western Kentucky that knows that you've got weapons, they're going to sit back and play zone and make you get completions. Penix has been really inaccurate. They're daring you to throw 8 yards, 4 yards, 6 yards down the field. That's why they had 1 million first downs. But when you get into the Big Ten season and you go back to last year, it was all Big Ten games. So you go into the Big Ten, there's so much more man coverage, a lot more relying on athletes in the Big Ten. And that's when you start to open up more one-on-one shots. When a team goes straight quarters and you tell a corner, hey, this guy gets by you, you're going to sit on the bench, which I assume is what the Western Kentucky DBs did, because at least for the first 3 quarters, if Indiana wasn't on the 30-yard line going in, anything outside of that, they could have run a 10-yard stop route to the boundary even forever, basically uncovered. So you start to put together a whole game plan for what Western Kentucky tried to do, and it was just keep everything in front. Make Michael Penix be accurate. We've watched 3 games, and he's thrown the ball all over the place. The last play against Cincinnati, the stop route to Freifogel, I think a kid in the student section caught it. So make him beat us. And fortunately for Indiana, Penix slowed his feet down. He started using I wish I was a quarterback. I would start to know all the technical terms. But he was using his body to throw the ball instead of just kind of winging it with his arm. He's got one of the strongest arms definitely in the Big Ten. I mean, he can sling it. Some of the little slant routes that he was throwing to Freifogel, they were 15 yards away. I'm like, oh, my God, it's going to go through his chest. They are missiles. And that's what you want from a quarterback. You want somebody that's stepping up there, delivering to a target on the money as fast as you can throw it. Because in the Big Ten, if you aren't throwing it as hard as you can, those guys are going to break it up because everybody's fast, everybody's good. And I think that was a great tune-up for Indiana to get ready this week. That place is going to be rocking, and they're going to need to stay together.
And that's the thing. While it was Western Kentucky, but a team that is prolific offensively, Indiana held them.
They were the number one. That's the number one passing offense in the country.
Indiana held them. They held them to 31 points. They held them to 31 points. I know they gave up 365 yards, but they held them to 31 points.
Yeah. A team like that, I bet, usually has 500 yards.
Yes, and Indiana had 500 yards. Exactly. They threw for 373 yards. Now, Michael Penix threw for 373 yards and did not throw a touchdown. Does that bother you?
I think it's one of the most bizarre statistics.
I was like, wow. I'm like, I wish I had the research. I'm like, what's the most yardage someone has thrown without throwing for a touchdown?
And no interceptions. His completion percentage was good. He had almost 400 yards, no picks, and for none of them to be touchdowns. I think that goes a lot into what I was just saying about the throw the boundary stop route until the cows come home. but they were effective. They were extremely efficient. I think Stephen Carr is starting to run a little bit harder, but they need to establish a ground game that gets the 2 yards that you're not supposed to get. I think so far Stephen Carr gets the yards that the line gets them, and then maybe makes one guy miss in the open field. But when we're between the tackles and we're starting to get into the Big Ten, it's a different kind of football, man. You gotta be downhill, and the best teams have a back that gets 2 extra yards. And I'm excited to see if Stephen Carr, he seems like a great kid.
He is phenomenal.
Excited.
He
to
is
see
really
if he can
phenomenal.
step up when we need him to.
DJ Matthews, what a freak accident. I still don't know how it happened.
Yeah.
He blows out his ACL on the early part of the game. I think it was on a punt return.
Yeah.
That he didn't even do anything. He didn't even do anything.
Around, and it's the scariest injury in all of football. It doesn't make any sense how it happened. After watching Jayshon Harris do it 2 or 3 times, just in nothing, and he kind of walks off like, that kind of hurt, and then the next day you hear he has a torn ACL. It's out of nothing. And I saw something on Twitter, whoever can figure out how to eliminate those from sports, that's going to be a very rich man.
The ACL, yeah, absolutely. So, but they lose DJ Matthews, but it seemed like it kind of altered the offense and the offensive game plan into using more tight ends, but it seemed to be more effective. Again, they had 500 yards of offense. They haven't had 500 yards of offense for a minute, and especially this season. So maybe that was I hate to say an injury to a player is beneficial because that's not respectful to them. And I don't mean it that way.
I know that. Yeah.
It's not what I mean, but they had to go a different way. And so maybe it was beneficial in forcing them to look in a different way. I hate that for DJ Matthews because he has been one of the bright spots of the offense for Indiana.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how you game plan for a team like Penn State, losing a guy that's got that much speed and quickness on the inside. They're definitely going to have to replace him by committee. I think you'll see a lot more 2 tight end sets coming up. And Peyton Hendershot is just a receiver playing tight end that's extremely physical. I think he's really come into his own this year, just blocking. I know he doesn't have a million touchdowns and he doesn't have as many highlight plays, but he's moving people. He's extremely effective. And I think you start to see him maybe get spread out wide and then also get a tight end attached to the line of scrimmage.
Chicken.
You ordering some food over there?
I'm going to order some food because they have fried chicken here that they just got in that I'm going to show you in a little bit. It's going to take like 15 minutes. Don't worry, I forgot. But it is amazing, dude.
Yeah. Did you hear what I said?
It's amazing. Yes, I was listening to everything you said.
I'm just kidding. I'm just giving you a hard time. You give me a hard time, I'm going to give you a hard time too.
Man, I haven't seen you for like 2 years.
I know. We still have to go play some golf. That's the only thing I do now.
You know what? My golf game has gotten better. You
couldn't go down. So
there's no doubt about that. There's no doubt about that.
Although
I was really feeling good about it until now. I'm like, damn, I was feeling positive.
The only time I've seen you play is when it was 30 degrees at
it wouldn't have mattered. That was par for no offense. That was par for the course. Dude, all year I was horrible, and I would just get madder. And the madder I would get, the harder I'd try to hit it, and the worse I would get. And then finally, I'd reached a point, and it's like relaxed, and I'm like, oh my god, it's weird.
Game changes when you. It's just like in football. Kevin Johns would always tell us, wipe it away. Like, whatever happened on the last play, wipe it away. And when I'm even playing golf still to this day, something bad happens, wipe it away. Let's go hit the next shot. Let's go play the next play. And it's the best. This is a little transition, a little side note. We're going to turn this into a golf podcast real quick. It's the best game in the world. I've been down in South Carolina for 10 days, and I've met like 10 people just on the golf course. People texting me to play golf now.
That's because they have nothing but golf courses down there.
That's not even true. They got water. They got boating. They got fishing. It's the best city in the world.
The only water is on the ocean.
There's rivers. Listen, I'm not going to get into it. This
they're
isn't
creeks.
geography class.
They're creeks, man. Those aren't rivers.
Class.
They're creeks.
Saltwater
creeks.
rivers.
Saltwater? That means they have sharks in them, probably.
I mean, I wouldn't swim in them.
I would not either. They have gators and sharks in those damn things.
We were out on the water. What is today? Monday? We were out on the water on Saturday. It was beautiful.
So you were out on that shark-infested water?
Of course.
Why would you do that?
Because we're fishing. I'm going to catch one.
Fishing? What are you fishing for, shark?
I don't even know. The guy that I was with, I'm
You
not
don't
a big
even
fisher.
know
I'm
what-
a golfer. I'm a golfer. I just reel it and hope something bites it. And then I want to go play golf.
Were you trying to reel in and say, is that a Titleist?
My Titleists don't go in the water.
Oh,
I did lose a ball today. I was pretty sad about it.
mine did. All right, Penn State coming up this weekend, man. And Penn State looking good. Sean Clifford, veteran quarterback. He played in high school against Peyton Ramsey. That's how long he's been at frickin' Penn State, man.
I'm pretty sure he played it when I was playing.
I'm telling you, he's been there forever.
I'm
And
old.
but they have a solid offense, and that's critical. Indiana does not have solid.
Not yet. They're going to have to – Indiana's solid on defense. I know.
They are really solid on defense. They're badass on defense.
Yeah, looking all over Twitter, talking we can't give up this many yards to Western Kentucky. And I just want everybody watching this, anybody that sees it, to understand firsthand experience when an offense like that gets rolling and a quarterback is in command like he was. Their signals are extremely simple. You see them giving this signal. You see them giving this. It's one signal. Everybody line up. That's the entire play. And when things start rolling like that, it's impossible as a defense. Indiana has been extremely solid. They held the number one passing offense in the country to like a pretty low number for what they expect. And I think they're going to be extremely solid against a really well-rounded Penn State team. And they have to be. Everything starts with our defense, and I'm excited to watch them play. I know that.
Indiana has 2 wins. They need 4 more to become bowl eligible. You look over this. Oh yes. Oh, and the hell we're not. We have to now. We already have to. Oh my.
Look at that fried
We'll talk
chicken.
about that in a minute.
Look at
Cody
that fried
Camp.
chicken.
Let's get Cody Camp in here, the GM for Southern Stone. Can you see this? Can you smell that? Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
That's going 10 and a half hours south.
Oh my God. Cody, you guys just started serving fried chicken here at Southern Stone.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
cool. So we do a sweet tea brine. We overnight brine this chicken. We bread it, we fry it. We just got our pressure fryer today.
Today.
Yep. And then we serve it with pickles and some sweet drop peppers here. You get 2 sides with it. This is a half bird, so that's 4 pieces. And we do a full bird too.
This is a half.
Yeah.
Half.
So that's the new stick over
It's
here.
like 10
So,
pounds.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know where I'm going when I'm in Bloomington.
Yep. And we got beer, wine, cocktails, all that to go with it. So
Master bartender. The food is
suspenders.
incredible. The food it's freaking incredible. I'm not kidding you. This is like it's gourmet. This is seriously gourmet food. I wish you could really see it. I know you can't taste it, but I'm going to, and I'll tell you about it tomorrow because it's going to be delicious.
We're gonna have
God, I
to go there
can't
when I'm
wait.
in town, man.
We will go there when you're in town, of course.
Absolutely.
Man,
Yeah,
Cody's the man. And the bar is right behind us. Master drink makers. Whatever drink you want, not that fake stuff. They do it the real way. It's like real
The drink you had
bartending.
earlier looked really good.
Oh, dude, Southern Stone Restaurant, Patterson to Rogers. It's incredible. It's awesome. Mike Ross has got other restaurants that will be open,
you just shake them, they're good to go.
but this is where you find the IU basketball and football coaches shows. It's just, how long have they been open here?
We've been open since February 2020. So going on a year and a half.
So they started 2 months before a pandemic.
Still rolling.
And not only rolling, they're kicking it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how good the food has to be if you start 2 months before a pandemic and then you come out of it kicking ass?
Yeah, I mean, I know that fried chicken looks – I'm already hungry, and now I'm extra hungry.
You can't hear
So thanks
Mitchell,
a lot.
but yeah, I'm sorry, but you can't have any. Oh, how about these collard greens? You're down in South Carolina.
Yeah, you got that
I know a little bit about that.
Oh, damn, I dropped that one. How about collard greens out there in South Carolina? A little vinegar.
I know a little something about those. Just a little something.
Oh, my God, that is
14
amazing.
days down here, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Cody's killing it. Killing
Classic
it. Make sure you come out to Southern Stone, Patterson and Rogers, for you IU basketball and IU football coaches shows. The basketball coaches shows is going to be on Monday when it gets started. Right now, the football coaches show is 7:05 on each Wednesday.
Yep, 7:05 every Wednesday.
Do y'all have any specials for that stuff?
Every Wednesday night we do a Hoosier pork tenderloin. So that's the sandwich special, and then we do a half price wine nights every Wednesday too. So if you come in for the show, you can enjoy some half price
Wine down on Wednesday, baby.
100%.
Come on.
We're in,
Come
baby. Boom.
Come
Forget the
on.
football. I want the fried chicken.
Right.
Actually, I want those greens. Those greens are really good. Man. All right, we got to get it back to what we're talking about. Now I got to sit here and look at
Thanks
this.
for having me on. Appreciate it.
My man Cody Camp,
Thanks, guys.
Southern Stone. Now I got to sit here and think about eating this and not eat
I
it.
would put it – yeah, you got to put it behind the screen.
I don't
It's
care
gonna be
where it
up
is.
in
It doesn't help.
It's gonna,
I know it's there. It's there. I know it's there. Oh, Jesus. All right, so you got Penn State. 2 years ago, Indiana went to Penn State. Probably should have beat Penn State.
I was in attendance for that game, and I'll tell you, the fans feel the same way. The Penn State fans, really, we feel like we got beat 2 years in a row.
Walt Failure took a shot to the head that was no doubt a targeting call that didn't get called, which I don't understand.
Are we going to talk Micah McFadden in relation to that, or what?
No, because that one was not even – it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was
The
just
funny
the
thing
way
is,
the rules were.
it wasn't even close between the two. The other one was the 2 years ago. It was definitive.
Yeah,
It knocked Walt Failure out.
knocked him out and completely changed the game. And then last year, obviously, everybody knows what happened. I didn't think Penn State played that bad, but I think Indiana played kind of perfect.
But they did. Michael Penix did not have a good game. He did not have a good game. The only thing he did was score that touchdown, that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I'm going to keep referring to the 50% career accuracy. And that's not to say one way or the other, but Penix is a gamer. When he's in rhythm, he's a gamer. I'm not going to say he's going to make all the throws and be 75% completion, but he's a guy that we need to get rolling if Indiana's going to win. I think we're at least a top 15 team when he's playing well. But when he's not, we're not even in the top 70.
Indiana could have been a top 15 team. But, all right, why was – okay, I'm not a player of your caliber, and I looked at what was coming back, the offensive line that was coming back, the receivers that were coming back, Michael Penix, even though injured, coming back. I did not see this drop off.
Yeah,
did
I don't
you
think
see
there has been.
Well, the bull crap. Bull crap. They lost to a Cincinnati team they should have beat by 17.
Yeah, because Penix had 4 picks. And then
Iowa. That's a drop off.
For one player, absolutely. One player, it's an we have as good a defense as anybody in the Big Ten.
Oh, the defense is absolutely stellar. I agree with you. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And a defense is what kind of determines if your team's going to be good. Like Western Kentucky's got the #1 offense in the country, and they still can't beat Indiana.
But they fumbled on the 2, man. They threw a pick at midfield before the half. It gave up points. It was
Yeah,
just
I understand.
dumb
Indiana has been
mistakes.
crisp on offense, but when you look at Iowa, the game is close except for 3 pick sixes or 2 pick sixes and 2 other picks. You can't win games when you have 4 turnovers, especially from one guy. Against Cincinnati, what's the kid's name? Tim Baldwin fumbles the ball on the 1, and that completely changes the game.
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati's got a Heisman Trophy contending quarterback. He's gonna make plays. I disagree too, but he's a good player, and that big wide receiver they have is also a beast.
North Carolina had a Heisman Trophy quarterback until they were exposed as being
They suck on defense.
from the
Indiana
ACC
doesn't.
team.
They suck on defense, and Indiana
You
doesn't.
have to be great on defense to be a great team.
Yeah,
Period.
Indiana by the end of the year will be a great team. They got bombarded early. I mean, you throw 2 pick sixes.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all because we saw what they could be offensively against Western Kentucky. And I know it's against Western Kentucky, but we saw what they can do. Defensively, I know they're good. Those guys are good.
I think the biggest thing that Indiana's going to have to do against Penn State is block. They're going to have to find a way to communicate better. They had a lot of miscommunications up front, leaving Michael Penix extremely exposed. Guys just going the wrong direction, especially in pass pro. They're not really moving people on runs. There has to be a little bit, maybe a change in demeanor, change into mindset, and somebody's got to be the quarterback of the offensive line, and it can be anybody. Generally, it's the center, but somebody's got to be the voice when you get a look that he knows exactly what we're going to do, and that goes some on the quarterback, but it's a lot on the center, and you have to be a cohesive unit with those 6, the front 5 and the quarterback, especially when you've got guys at Penn State that rush the quarterback the way that they do.
Let's hear what Tom Allen had to say today at the press conference talking about Penn State. John, let her roll.
Tremendous opportunity this week. Obviously got in late Saturday night, but getting the guys mentally and physically refreshed and ready to go. Had a really good day with them yesterday. A very important week of preparation. A great challenge against Penn State in a very, very difficult environment at night. Excited for it, though. I know, obviously, a really good football team, top 5 team in the country right now. And Coach Franklin does a tremendous job in both recruiting and player development and the way their teams perform. So tremendous challenge and opportunity for this football team this week. So excited to be able to get back together tomorrow and get ready, preparing for the Nittany Lions.
Tom Allen, he's excited. He's ready to get at it, man.
Yeah, I used to love the Sunday and Monday after a win like that, especially one against a good team. You just get to feeling good. It was always easy to come into the building on Sunday after a win like that. So I know they're feeling fresh. I know they're feeling ready, and I bet those guys in meetings this morning just couldn't wait to get after the film.
When you look forward to a game, going to Penn State, going to a place like that, what are you thinking? What's your mindset? Try to put yourself in this team they struggled early. They've got a good game going in, though, to Penn State. So that's got to be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a crazy environment. I bet it'll be a sellout. I heard maybe this is whatever on Twitter, but heard they're going to do a stripe out. So that this means something to them, and this is going to be a revenge game to them. I know a lot of their fans don't believe Penix was in, and they're going to try to beat Indiana by 1,000 if they can. And you build a locker room like Indiana's built for games like this, going in front of 105,000 that are going to be going nuts.
John, play the next clip from Tom Allen. He talks about how this was a turning point for Indiana, winning that game. And it was, because it was the first game. It set Penn State on a 5-game losing streak. They lost their first 5 games before they finished with winning the last 4. But it was a turning point because they beat a team they hadn't beaten.
Yeah,
there's no question that it was a big win. I think that's been stated quite many times since when you beat a team of that caliber in regards to their tradition and the way they've won and how good they were and being a top 10 team, at that point in the season. And so have been close with them before and just being able to find ways to finish. And we all know how that game played itself out and to be able to come back there at the end of that final drive and then win in overtime, it just gives a tremendous, surge of confidence to your guys. I just think that, the ability to experience that, whole situation as we've gone through and talked about many times and, being, backs against the wall, playing well at spurts throughout the game and then seeing it slip away at the end, but then just finding a way, and the final drive that those guys, the execution that took place and by a lot of different individuals, and then being able to find a way to finish, So I just think those are parts of building your program. And I think, you mentioned we had some road wins along the way. They're critical. Road games are hard, and the environment to play in is tough. And so now the next step is to get one of those big road wins, that where you do beat a top 10 team or a ranked team, on the road. And so just building your program step by step, day by day, and it's building belief and it's building expectation. And then when you experience it, it elevates those things and you just keep growing and building.
Mitchell, one of the things I asked offensive coordinator Nick Sheridan this week, Michael Penix looked more confident. He looked good in the pocket. He was looking around, going through his reads. But the one thing he has not come close to looking good on are deep passes. He's so far off, they're not close. It's like slinging. Indiana is one of the few teams that's a passing team that they don't have a deep game. I asked Nick Sheridan about that, and here's what he had to say.
Hey, we played that already, unless you want to play it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I played that.
Yeah.
But they don't have a deep game, and for a team that is considered a passing team, you have to have a deep threat. And it's not that they don't have the threat. Frifog will have a deep threat, but they're not coming close on the passes. They're 5, 6, 7 yards off every time. They're not close. They're not off of the hands. These passes aren't close, and you're not going to win games against Penn State or Michigan State or Michigan or Ohio State without being able to hit the home run ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of that is just being in rhythm. I think that's why Western Kentucky was so big. I think there was some rhythm in the offense. Plays that they should make, that they hadn't been making, they made. And when you start to get in a little bit of rhythm, receivers start to run a little faster and move a little bit better. And it also goes back to, we're going to get a lot of man coverage. And Penix is hopefully going to be more in rhythm after last week. And when you get guys running in the open field one-on-one, that's when those big shots happen. And I'm just excited for our guys to be able to go up against the defense that Penn State has that's really fast, really athletic, and only getting better every week.
What was football in Austria like last year?
Yeah, I was fat when I got there, so that was tough. That took a second to
Wait a minute. How tall are you?
5'7".
You're 5'7" and you were 5'7" and 3'8". So all right. So you're 5'8" and fat.
Yeah, fat. Fat to be in football shape. Like I was.
He's saying he's fat. Let me tell you, I've seen him a ton. He was not fat. That's bull crap.
I was thicker than I needed to be, and I hadn't moved around a lot. So, I was playing golf. I hadn't run an out route in 2 years.
Josh Hoover, an IU football commit from Texas, 6 of the highest level.
Is that the quarterback?
Yes, Josh Hoover, a quarterback from Texas.
You want to talk about smooth?
Dude, have you seen his highlights? He looks good. He's 74% completion percentage. He's killing it. But anyway, during COVID, he taught himself how to play golf because he had nothing else to do. So they built the previous owners of their house had built a pitching green in their backyard or something. So he starts
Now I
playing
like
around.
that.
The first time he goes out, he shoots an 82.
Yeah, I don't like that guy.
I
like
hate
that
him.
guy.
I hate him.
I had to learn I had to play a lot of golf to play as
I still play a lot of golf, but I can't shoot a 92.
That's why.
Are you kidding me? Exactly. I'm terrible. But I acknowledge. I acknowledge that I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Actually, my game has come on this fall. All of a sudden, I feel so good. I'm like, I'm gonna play with somebody. I feel good.
I liked what Charles Campbell said. That kid is automatic, and he seems like he's got a really good head on his shoulders, really composed. And they asked him the question about getting the retry, and he says he believes in the breakfast ball. I really like that. That was just a funny.
He's a golfer. He's a golfer.
I'm a big golfer, and I believe in a breakfast ball. And so I'm so thankful that happened on my first field goal. I just didn't hit it that well. It was a little short. Got the next one, thank goodness. But it was a crazy night, honestly. It was. I mean, I just felt like I was out there kicking a lot, and that's fine. But it was so much fun, honestly.
Do you know what do you know what that relies on? Having a great producer, John, the producer, on top of it.
In. Oh my God!
Boom!
I didn't realize I was muted. I was trying to scream at him like, John, you're the man, bringing it up out of nowhere.
Hey, I'm telling you that. I love that because that's what I'm always begging for, but I didn't expect that one.
Good things happen when you've already got things loaded in StreamYard, I'll tell you.
Bam. Johnny on the spot. And
bam.
John.
Bam.
What I'm talking about.
Dude, that's tidy. Very tidy. Tidy.
He seems like he's got a good head on his shoulders, that Charles Campbell. I like that kid.
Indiana, one of the few teams that gives a scholarship to a long snapper.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I know those guys work really hard, and I'm sure he's earned it. But as that's
a Tom Allen thing. He said he will always do that. He will go out and find the best long snapper in the country, and he will give them a scholarship, and they'll be here for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, when you have a guy that snaps it, especially on field goals, it's such a little thing. But I held for – I think only 1 year actually on the field, but I was a holder for all 5 seasons. When you get a snapper that, I mean, they have it to a science where the laces are out every time and I don't even have to spin it. You get a guy that can do that. Dan Gotzel was great. Matt Dooley was great. It just takes a lot of pressure off the holder, and I know it gives the kicker a lot of confidence.
All right, this weekend, Indiana, Penn State. Be honest, man. What do you think?
Indiana's going to have to play really well. We're going to rely on Penix to just be himself. We don't need him to do anything crazy, but be confident. And I believe Indiana is as good or better at most positions than Penn State, but Penn State's better at some of the important ones. It'll be a shootout. I think it'll be a kind of 35-32 game. And if you think I'm going to pick against Indiana, you're out of your mind.
Can Indiana win this game?
Absolutely. Indiana can beat anybody in the country.
I mean, Penn State is playing really well right now.
Oh, they're playing great. So is Indiana at every position but one. This is what's getting lost in the sauce, and you look at the Sports Illustrated writers, ESPN writers, with the power rankings, and Indiana's 13th. I'm like, are you crazy? Ranked behind Illinois, Indiana would go in and beat Illinois by 40. Indiana's still a top 4 team, at least in the Big Ten, and in the Big Ten East, which is the Big Ten East is the best conference in all of college football. Indiana is a fantastic team, so don't get that lost. Don't get lost in kind of we suck. I think we've sucked at one position, and he was a lot better this last week. And I think
the one problem I have, Mitchell, is the mistakes that have been made. The mistakes that have cost them. The mistakes that cost them the Cincinnati game. They were just basic mistakes. The Iowa game. They made so many mistakes, which I know you can do that on the road. It's a lot easier to do that on the road with the crowd, and I get that. But they just seem like for a veteran group, they've made a few too many mistakes for my liking.
Yeah. If you watch the Alabama Crimson Tide, they make mistakes. When you throw 4 interceptions in a game, you're going to lose. We were this is just something for reference. I can't even remember what year this was, but we were beating Rutgers by 30 points in the fourth quarter. And we threw 4 picks in the fourth quarter, and we still lost. We were
Is that the one they lost like 54-48?
Yeah.
They were up by 20. You were up by 4 touchdowns or something.
We were literally
stupid
destroying
crap.
them. I almost took my cleats off. Interceptions change a game, man, and especially a pick
Turnovers.
6. I don't know what the statistics are. This is something Coach Johns used to give us every year, and it's somewhere in one of my playbooks that I still have. But just the statistics on how often a team wins when they don't have any turnovers, 1 turnover, 2 turnovers, 3 turnovers, and this is over like the past 50 years. And when you get to 2 turnovers, the win percentage goes down to like 4%. And then you get to 3 turnovers, it goes down to 1%. 4 turnovers, it's basically 0. So when you have 4 turnovers in a game, I don't know. You can play a perfect game everywhere else, you're going to lose. Especially when you're playing a team like Iowa that showed to be extremely strong, goes into Iowa State and just bullies them. A team like Cincinnati that I know it's a different team, but last year takes it to Georgia and plays neck for neck with Georgia, who is now one of the best teams in the country. It'd be interesting to see them this week against Notre Dame. But, like, Indiana has lost to some teams that are unbelievable. And against Cincinnati, they were smoking them even with 4 turnovers, 3 turnovers. So it just is – they're missed opportunities, absolutely, but they're playing much better than people are giving them credit for in 98% of the game.
Does Notre Dame beat Cincinnati this weekend?
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think so.
Oh, my God. I think so. I think Cincinnati is not good. They're not good at all.
Yeah, but neither is Notre Dame.
But Indiana should have beat Cincinnati by 17. I don't think they're 17 better than Notre Dame.
Absolutely they are. I don't think Notre Dame's any good.
Well, they're not that great, but I think they're better than Cincinnati.
I also just can't – I can never cheer for Notre Dame. I grew up in Miami.
I get that. I understand that. I understand.
The blood runs deep with Notre Dame. Indiana fan, can't cheer for them. And I don't like the Indiana basketball, Notre Dame football. I don't like that either. That's
bull. That's crap. I hate that.
That's northern Indianapolis everywhere. Nobody talks about IU football. It kills me. Until now.
What's Pete talking about breaking away? Why is he asking me about that?
He's probably watching behind. He's referring to the movie stuff y'all were talking about earlier.
Oh, well, see, tomorrow.
I've seen breaking away. I jumped off at the quarry. I jumped off that rooftop.
Hey, Pete, is a great friend of mine. He sent me a shirt. I was going to wear it today, but I realized today was Monday, so I'll wear it tomorrow. But have you watched Ted Lasso?
I do not have Apple TV or Apple Plus, but I've
Dude,
heard it's just
whatever it takes, you got to watch it because the greatest character is Roy Kent.
Okay.
He's freaking hilarious. Pete sent me a shirt, and they have this, and the European soccer, they have all these cheers. They do all these cheers.
Yeah.
For Roy Kent, they have the Roy Kent. He's here. He's there. He's every effing where. But they don't say effing.
Yeah.
But
so that's the shirt you have?
I'm going to wear it tomorrow. I'll wear it tomorrow on the show.
It's probably good to not wear it today for the show,
Well,
but I like it.
Yeah, I had so much going on. I didn't realize that, but yeah, it wouldn't have gone without your basketball media days and the football press conference and all that's going on. When are you coming in for a game, man?
We got to see. I'm just getting this job, hopefully starting next week. But, I mean, Bloomington's the best place to be in the fall. So I'm going to find a way up there. Got to bring the old lady up there. Our first date was –
What?
Yeah.
You got a girlfriend?
Oh, yeah, 2 years. She's the bomb.
2 years?
Yeah, our first date was IU Northwestern 2 years ago.
Was I there?
I don't know, maybe.
Did I introduce you to her?
No,
Is he an ex-girlfriend of mine?
probably. Everybody's
No,
ex-girlfriend.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh
man.
I'm here for just the low hanging, like whatever you throw away.
I just want you
on fire.
I just want you to come up here, man. I just want to have you up here. It's a lot more fun when you're in Bloomington.
Bloomington's the best place to be, especially in the fall. It's beautiful. I'm sure the leaves.
Wherever Mitchell is.
We don't really get that down here because no winter. But that's the only. I'm tired of the winter.
We got to let producer John get to bed so we can get up and do the show tomorrow, and let you go to bed so you can.
You say it's my bedtime?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you got work to do in the morning, man.
Oh, absolutely. I don't deny that. I just didn't know.
As do I.
We all know who calls you every morning to get you up and do that show.
Man, I've been going all day.
I know you've had the morning show today. You've had football press conferences. You've had Indiana basketball media day, and now you've got the Monday evening quarterback. And it's
you don't
almost
need to stroke his ego. You don't need to stroke his ego.
Ego's ass. It has nothing to do with the ego. I'm telling you, I'm not egoed out. I'm like worn out.
I know it. I'm gonna go play golf tomorrow just for you.
I love you, Mitchell Paige. You're my man. I love you to death. Can't wait to come up here.
Monday, man.
I want you to come up here, brother. I'm playing good golf. I want you to come up here because I think I can take you.
I shot 70 today. So.
Okay, well maybe not, but I'm playing better golf, but I ain't playing 70 golf. Nope.
Yeah, I mean,
nope.
How about this? You bring your money. I won't bring any of mine. We'll play straight up.
I like that. You bring none of yours. How's your dad doing?
The best, man. He's the best. That's who we need to go play some golf with.
Mitchell Paige, I love you, brother. You are the best. Can't wait to see you again next week.
Yeah, love you too, Jim. I'll be texting you on Saturday, all mad and then all happy, like I usually do.
I'll talk to you before then.
Yes, sir.
It's been a great time tonight here with Monday evening quarterback with Mitchell Paige, former wide receiver for Indiana football, of course. And coming to you, of course, from Southern Stone Restaurant here in Bloomington at Patterson and Rogers. Great food. Oh, man, you guys are missing out if you have not been here. This is where the IU football and basketball coaches shows are. You can come out and catch those on each Wednesdays, the football coaches show. The Monday coaches shows will begin on Monday, so you'll have that to look out to, look up forward to. So we got that. All kinds of stuff, Mitchell, man. When you come in town, the food is amazing, so you have to come in.
Can't wait. I'll see you soon. And go Hoosiers, baby.
Brother, John, the producer, can't thank you. Without you, we do nothing. But most importantly, without everybody else, we can't do anything, man. Thanks to all you guys. Mitchell Paige, Jim Coyle, John, the producer. Thank you, guys. We're out of here. I'll see you on the radio.